Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together for C's Not Terrorites and his toxic drama stories. And I'm not doing that cringy opener again. I am very sorry to tell you this. Also, I want to let you guys know that the outside of this room is getting renovated. So the hallway's getting renovated. Everything else is getting renovated. So, like, let's just say, like, the outside is completely naked and not completed. So you're not going to see the house and stuff yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit down and let's go ahead and talk about this nice story that I got you guys going to hear, okay? All right, so the story I'm going to talk about is, let's just say how hard it was to raid and Endwalker. Like, I'm not talking about class wise, I'm talking about like people. I'm talking about the people who sit there and trap others because they see money. I do not know why they were doing that, but most of my money from the party leader just get cocked because like they got players who don't know how to do the fight to come in. Now that's basically what's just the most annoying part of it, right? And during Endwalker, I don't think some of y'all are from Endwalker. I think some of y'all came from Shadowbringers. Some of y'all skip over Endwalker because like I don't feel like Endwalker was a great expansion for you guys. I'm not sure anything like that at all. Like y'all probably like beat an ultimate and then y'all decide to skip the last tier of Pandemonium after you beat it or something like that. I don't know, but like I said, I'm not you, so only you know, and I just basically assume, right? But when it comes down to learning a fight, it doesn't take that long at all. It shouldn't. That's the thing. It shouldn't take that long in the first place. But the people I run with, right, back in the days in Endwalker, while I was running Money Party for the first time, it was hectic to even try to help people out get their stuff done without getting completely cucked from somebody who don't know how to do the mechanic completely. And the thing is, I normally get backseated for my gameplay other than somebody else's, and I don't know why that was happening. And normally what I do is that I try to correct those people because like I said, I'm a correction officer, right? I'm a correction officer and I do correct people of what they do wrong. But during that time in that party, say for example, somebody get knocked back into the wall, like 5 times each pull, or like every pull to get knocked back into the wall kept dying every pull. I probably will call it out, but I wasn't that type of guy to call people out because, like, you know, the early stage of Endwalker, I wasn't really calling people out. I was just letting people judge everything by the book, judge everything by the video, right? And that's what I was letting the people do. I was letting people just judge everything by the book and by the cover, by the everything. But now I was supposed to judge it myself because, you know, this is the type of thing I'm supposed to deal with because, you know, I shouldn't put nobody else into this type of drama because, you know, it's not healthy. But the thing is, so, like, I technically was, like, in the early stage, I wasn't a menace. I really wasn't. I was basically trying to be nice, right? Because I was trying to give people a chance to prove themselves that they actually could do the mechanic. But, like, if they just straight up just cucking me and my money, that's just them just trolling entirely. And then, like, you know, the moment I say, like, you know, this is the worst P11S party that actually, you know, was going to pay like 2.5 million gil for a coffer in there that they want personally, it was very bad. It was actually very terrible because, like, they were not kicking out a certain player that was just, you know, not only ruining the DPS, but also stopping the healers from doing their job. Because the fact that this person kept dying on the same mechanic over and over and over and over and over. And then the thing is, nobody's calling them out. But the thing is, afterwards, people will start leaving, and then we all know what happens is that person left, right? They may or may have not blacklisted that person. And, you know, people are very secretive when it comes to the blacklisting the person, right? The thing is, they were not doing the mechanic correctly, and they were not apologizing. They were not, like, saying anything that they're doing wrong. I personally called them out the moment before I left the party, and then, of course, they come up with an excuse. I don't know why people come up with an excuse and they always do that at the same time. Like almost every single time that they make a mistake or like they don't want to call it out, they just say like, I have a headache. Okay, why are you on this game? Uh, because I want money. Yeah, that's what you want. That's basically what you want. I can't read you, but I know that you want the gil, and you just sitting there in the party where you know that you don't feel well, but you intend to straight up sabotage the gil from this party just for your own entertainment. I know that for sure because you're not doing the mechanic correctly. You're not punishing anybody who's in the party that is messing up badly. Like there's no type of punishment anymore. Like this was the most critical part in the early stages of the Anabisios raid tier, which is just the third raid tier of Pandemonium. Basically, I just don't know how to say the word right. And it was very hard to detect who is good and who was bad. It's just that you have to test people out on their skill level by vision. You can't just assume their damage or and healing. No, don't always assume that. And of course, third party tool is never a good thing. Okay, it was never a good thing in the first place. It was very very bad, including when players have room to improve on both like their rotation and the optimization, but it still all falls underneath the player's skill level, and that skill level is supposed to be a visionary thing, right? It shouldn't need to be a third-party tool thing, but the third-party tool is used for who is lacking, who's behind, who is basically dragging down the team, and who's getting carried. Because there's a decent amount of players who got carried through the third tier of Pandemonium, and it was very bad. Like the mechanics was not that terrible, but I know some people was getting a lot of call-outs during that time, and it was very critical. It was very bad, and I've never seen so many players straight up sabotage so many parties because the fact that they're trying to do it on their own without call-outs or without their static. Because a lot of people always say like, hey, I did it with my static, I did something different with my static, and I wasn't really aware that I was supposed to be doing stuff like this. But the thing is that like you jump it into Party Finder without knowing Party Finder strat. Party Finder does something different. It's like saying for E10S, right, back in the days with the Shadow Keep Savage, right? Shadow Keeper Savage. People do catch him Void Gate strat, right? Versus Shinobi strat for Void Gate 2. Okay? So those are two Void Gate strats that is completely different than one another because of placements. It doesn't matter what it is. But in my opinion, it was the most annoying thing ever, that the fact that some people treat Party Finder like it's like their own static. But the thing is that like you don't want to assume that these people know your static strats. You want to always teach that person if you're gonna do your own custom made strat. Otherwise, you're not going to do well. You're going to die. You're going to wipe the party. You're going to kill somebody. You're going to get somebody pissed off, and then you might have a good chance to get blacklisted because, again, you don't want to push your static ideas, your static rotation, your static this, static that onto somebody who's from Party Finder. You always want to let them know, right, if they're comfortable learning this way because of the fact that you guys learn it that way, or you basically punish somebody who basically decide not to show up in your static unless they have an emergency thing, which is that reason why I don't like doing statics, right? Because they always want to call out an emergency out of nowhere. And knowing me, I want to prog on my own time. Say for example, we at like P3S and we at Fuse Field and we stopped there for like literally a week because apparently somebody girlfriend broke up with them and they're emotional. Well, I want to go to Party Finder. I want to practice this mechanic, and then they say like, why won't you hold off until like the weekend because maybe they might want to come back? And I'm like, I don't want to hold off. That's the thing. That's the one thing I don't like about SAG. It's like they force you to hold off, when they know that they're going to be lacking and they're not going to come back until like they feel better. Like they treat their stat like their own like personal workers. Like oh, I'm the boss of this I'm the boss of this static, and this is my static. I'm going to come back whenever I feel like. Unless that's a casual static, I don't trust midcore. All right, and hardcore, obviously, if somebody has a bad day, obviously they're gonna get kicked out the party, and that's just them just ending it for the day, right? I mean, like not kicked out the party, but I mean, like they just ended the static session for the day, right? And then they come back the next day if they feel better. But the thing is, so like I don't know what's with some people trying to tell me to hold off, but a lot of people just want to push the ideas onto somebody else. But I do see people get carried a lot, and Journey Savages, it was just very hectic. But the one that I want to really tell you is that, like, towards the end of the third tier, I was a very bad person. I really was. Like, I was beyond that to the point where, like, I was straight up want somebody to start with me. Like, for example, some people did start with me and they got the best result from me, which is just straight up just get roasted, straight up get cooked, get down talk, get called out, get shamed. Because you know why? Because I was that type of person. And I'm not gonna lie, I was doing that the last tier, and it was very bad. It was actually really terrible because, like, those people got mad at me so badly. But like I said, like I don't take players who want to prog lie and want to like alt job on a clear party. That just basically just want to reprog. That's just a reprog thing. That's a D-Rust thing. But I lost so much money though. Like the amount of money I could have got, right? I just lost it because of bad players, and that's just okay, right? At least they know that they gotta improve their gameplay. They gotta improve in general. They gotta be ready. If they're not ready, then in the party chat, I would just say like, look, they're not ready, but it's okay. We try again later, right? But the thing is, some people get pissed off when I say something like that because they quote unquote to them they say that they're ready, but they're not ready in general. But hey, I don't know their mindset because I don't know what's going on with them. Like, if they know this mechanic, why are they messing up this badly? But again, some people have not studied the way how other people study. Like, look up POVs, look at the toolbox. Look up POVs, look at the toolbox to see how you do it. So you could like maybe like 2 to 3 shot it and then move on to the next mechanic. Because if it's not that hard, you should know what you're doing, right? It's about using your eyes, is about using your brain. I mean, like I remember I got yelled at a lot while I was in a T static, but like I said, like that's just you trying to like get in a motion of knowing how to do a super downtime mechanic that requires you to not only have speed, reaction, and vision over anybody else in the party, but you need to be ready when it comes down to certain dire situation that could happen in the timeline that you could save the party and or that you have to focus on yourself rather than looking at anybody else. Because looking at somebody else is just you trying to do the job for them, but like who's going to do your job? You see what I'm saying? So the only job that you have is focusing on you. Don't look at anybody else. Everybody else should be invisible to you, because like if you focus on somebody else, nobody's not gonna do the job for you. It's like saying, like I'm in a retailer job and I asked this girl to cover for me. Yeah, but are you gonna cover for her when she needs it? No. Okay, then why you want her to cover for you? See what I'm saying? So the players who get carried. So like the thing is, the moral of the story is like the people who get carried knows that they need to improve, because if you don't improve, you won't be better. You won't be better at all, including when like the future Savages and Ultimates and future Extremes are gonna come out soon in Dawn Trail. Yeah, I gotta be ready for those, because like it's not no play thing. It's not no. I mean, like it is a game. It is kind of a play thing, but like to certain players, they like to play like a hardcore rating game, so they won't care about your feelings if it gets hurt. The only thing they care about is their own sanity and their own time getting value rather than wasted. So bear in mind that, Thank you for watching. Thank you for hearing me out. I hope you guys have a good sleep because I am sleep deprived right now and I made this in 3 a.m. I'm going to see you guys later. Love you all. Keep supporting me and I'll support you back with some comments. Later. Mwah.